The Claflin Lady Panthers season ended with a 62-49 loss to Shaw in the CIAA tournament. They gave a great effort, but the up and down offensive play told the difference. Claflin struggled in the second quarter, just 5 second quarter points, and ended the half by 26, down by 26, 35-9. But they came back the second half, made a run. But the season ends with promises. Coach Jenkins will retool, and the Lady Panthers will be back. Men's basketball team at the CIAA tournament. Stay tuned. Keep our fingers crossed. They have a chance in this hunt. CIAA. I know most people are there. The Lady Panthers softball program starting off 4-4. Yet to play a conference game. Doing better at home, 4-2. On the road, 0-1. On neutral sites, 0-1. Congratulations to the CIAA Track Championship team. The men's track and field champions. Indoor track. They still got outdoor track to come. Man, you got to get ready. Got to follow them. Got to see them. Coach Garon Jackson and his star athletes, student athletes they are, with the highest academic award just presented to the Claflin men's track team. Hear their story here on the Claflin Athletic Show.
To show that support. I think that was very critical in our overall performances. You know, Miss Lee cheering every step of the way. You know, Miss Dion for coming to show that support. You know, my wife for actually being beside me and seeing this thing happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Claflin Athletic Show, sponsored by Tony T. Chrysler Dodge Ram. Talk about a special show today. You got history that was made on Claflin University campus. And to tell you all about it, we got Coach Jackson and one of his star student athletes going to talk to you about it. But without further ado, because it's not me you want to talk to, you want to hear from Coach Jackson. Coach,
how's everything going?
Again.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, the elephant in the room, there's no sense in playing and joking about it. Let's talk about that conference championship, the first one ever for the men's sports teams at Claflin, and winning that CIAA. Coach, tell us all about it. Don't leave out any details.
Yeah, it was it was a, I guess, joyous moment for me and the team. The hard work that we put in since August, honestly, and kind of knew where we was going to be at as far as like bringing in a pretty good recruiting class. So, I told the guys we just got to be in the hunt and, be ready to go when it's time to go. And Go Town was like the last 3 events. You had the 5,000 and you had the 200 and you had the 4x4, which was our strong, all 3 of our strong events. So knowing going into it, that was going to be the focus was actually, finishing the day off. So when I gave a speech to the team right after the 200 meters, where we won the 200 meters, it gave us opportunity to put us in the position to win. It was a great weekend for Claflin University. We had great support from the athletic director, the athletic administration, individuals who called in, checking on the team, making sure that we were good. It was a great opportunity for us to show up and show out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know, for the record, Coach Jackson gave you the Cliff Note version of what happened. See, his modesty is kind of overwhelming a little bit. I do like the fact that he talked to him and he was trying to tell him to just be in there for those last 3 events. But the last event, because he gave me some information I didn't know, the last event, they were down 2. Coach, you take it from there. Because, see, this is your story to tell. I want you to tell. I want them to feel that excitement that I felt, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah. We were, like I said, we were down 2. I knew we had the top 4x4 team. And I knew I had some great athletes on that leg. And I called those guys together and I said, hey, we got to win. If we don't win, we don't win a championship. We end up tying or we end up losing. But we got to win. We came in at the number 1 time. We got the whole state with that. So, I talked to Chan, who was our fourth leg, and looked him in the eyes and tell him, "Oh, you're gonna be the one who's gonna carry us across that finish line. I need to know, are you going to be that dog that I need in order to carry us across that finish line? Because we're going to need every bit of everybody stepping up." He looked at me, "Yeah, coach, I'm gonna give him 110%." Even though he was a little banged up, from running around, I knew that I can count on those guys. And they really stepped up. The first leg took off. We had the lead. Isaiah Murray, who was on your show previously, dominated the meet. He came in and he showed out. He took off the first leg. We led. We gave it to Jonathan Flemister, the 200-meter champion. So the 800-meter champion gave it to the 200-meter champion. And we had the lead, And then we gave it to Davion Riley, who, was in the finals of 400 meters. And, of course, St. Aug caught back up a little bit. We passed it to Chan Anderson. Chan came into the conference championship with the number one time in the 400 meters with a 48. So I knew once he gets it, it was going to be, he was going to give it 110%. So when he got it a little late. St. Aug went by him, and he held steady. He actually, he did not panic. He stayed with the guy. He didn't make a move until it was time to make that move. And then I was on the back corner over by the check-in area, and I said, "Move, Chan." Chan got up, and I saw him, muscle that thing in, and he brought us home a championship. And like I say, that was the whole story of the weekend. Everybody stepping up, doing what they supposed to do. Gore, Reginald Gore stepped up in the mile. He won the mile. As I was telling my assistant coach, going to the championship, I can count 76 points that we can score just for six people. We just got to do what we got to do. We was low on numbers. I think I might have, only took in about maybe, 13 people. But all 13 individuals were impact guys. And they stepped up and they did what they had to do. We shocked some people in some areas. We swept the relays. We killed everything on the track. Our Motage guy stepped up. We got a guy in the hurdles. He made the finals. We had a guy who made the finals in the triple jump. So, it was a well-rounded team. And as we spoke earlier, I told you when I came to Claflin University, my goal and what I wanted to do was create a holistic team that's going to focus on not just sprint and hurdles, but also going to sprint on long distance and, pole vault and motage and, jumps as well. We dominated the track, but we also hold steady in those other event areas as well. So when you do that, it kind of leads to a championship. That's the formula. It's no other way than that. And I just had to stick to my guns and not change up anything and say, hey, if we're going to win, we're going to win the way I want to win, not trying to, focus on somebody else, events or whatever, but I'm going to do it my way. And those guys understood that, and I'm the type of coach where I believe that the team is going to, take on the characteristics of his leader. They know I'm a nonsense guy. I'm a hard worker. I focus, dedicated, always show up, never miss a day, always there. And, the team that I had this year and hopefully going forward is a team that's going to feed off my energy, and we'll be champions.
Wow, that's a heck of an answer. And Chan is off stage, ladies and gentlemen. He's heard what his coach had to say. So I'm going to bring him on because Chan, it's his time. I don't think it's a better introduction than what you just gave me. Tell me what that meant to you for coach to tell you what you had to do. Tell me how you felt when he talked to you.
It meant everything. Coach Jackson, one of Coach Jackson's first year here was my freshman year here. So just seeing how the program has blossomed since he's been here, and for this year, for it to really cap off and us to win the championship, our first championship, the first championship team I've ever been on. So just seeing from what Coach Jackson came from and all the things that he's been through to bring us to this moment, and the fact that we got to capitalize on it and bring it home for him, it means a lot. It means a lot for us. It means a lot for all of us.
How nervous were you, Chan?
I was nervous at first, but once I got into the race, I felt calm because I knew that, even though I was banged up, I knew that I was doing it for somebody bigger than me. I was doing it just for the team. This was an individual event. This was for a championship. Like you said, we can't tie, we can't lose. We didn't come all the way up here with all of these guys that put all this work in to come up and tie for first place. We came to win first place. And that's it.
What were you thinking as you watched the legs unfold? What were you thinking when you were watching your teammates running?
It's time. That's it. It's not time to panic. It's not time to rethink my race plan. It's not time to look at who's running beside me. It's time to go. That's it.
Having never ran track, observed track, but having never ran track, do you feel the energy from the different legs on your teammates? Do you kind of inwardly cheer for them, or do you just kind of stay focused and see where the race is when it gets to you?
I do. One thing I wish I do, it no matter if I had a good day or a bad day, I'm gonna cheer 110% for my teammates. So seeing that they were dominating the 4x4, I'm cheering for it. Seeing that St. Aug was coming back into the race, I'm cheering for it because I knew when it was my time, they were gonna do the same thing for me. I knew if I just focused on my leg, I was gonna overthink it. So cheer for everybody else. But when I get the stick, it's time to lock in. It's time to go.
Chan,
Yes, sir.
as you sat there and now it's over with, has it really dawned on you yet the significance of what you did?
It has, but also it hasn't because I knew that Claflin has never won a championship before. So when we won, it was just a surreal feeling. I've never been on a championship program before. So really just coming here and building one with Coach Jackson meant a lot to me. But it has sunk in. But the only time I really ever think about it is whenever I see these trophies hanging around or posters. But I'm focused on outdoor championship now. So yeah, it's sunk in, but I moved past it now.
So you got another challenge ahead of you. You got to get ready for that.
Yes, sir.
With track and field, you go all year round. How are you able to handle your classes with the load that you have athletically? You know, and I know at Claflin, they don't play about you going to school and doing your work. You got to be a good academic student.
Yes, sir.
How do you handle it?
Communicate with my professors. If I know I have a track meet coming on Friday, I'm gonna make sure between that Monday and Thursday, communicate. I'm not gonna be here Friday. What do I need to do so when I come back Monday, I haven't fell behind any days? Or if I know I have like conference coming up the week before, I'm doing all my work for that weekend of conference. So when I go to conference, I don't gotta think about nothing about Claflin but track and field. I don't have to think about schoolwork.
Okay, you were in Coach's first recruiting class.
Yes, sir.
How does that make you feel to be part of his initial recruiting class at Claflin?
That made me feel good, knowing that Coach Jackson and I have been through COVID, I've caught COVID, practice changes, location changes, knowing all that we've been through and all that we've overcome to get that championship. A lot of people don't know that, but us knowing that, it meant a lot. It meant a lot. I have a lot of respect for him because of that. Because nothing, a couple years ago, bringing up Claflin in the men's track and field championship program, those aren't even in the same conversation. But now, when you bring up CIAA track and field, you have to mention Claflin University into it.
Congratulations. That's a job well done.
I appreciate you.
Having coached some championship teams myself, it takes on added significance the further away you get. Mm-hmm. And people want to bring you back. They want you to come back and talk to the team. They want you to be an inspiration. How does that make you feel that you're going to be one of those people that really you have gone down in Claflin athletic folklore? I know you kind of don't understand that, but as we talk about what you did, what the team did, and that relay team is the epitome of a team event. Mm-hmm. For you to be able to finish it and close it out like that, you're in folklore history now.
Yes, sir.
Coach, he's so modest. He's so modest. Where are you from?
I'm from Florence, South Carolina.
What was it about Coach that made you decide you would hit your wagon with him and come to Claflin?
Because I don't think Coach Jackson he's not a materialistic coach. I don't think he's a materialistic man because other programs that offered me while I was in high school, they might have had the big fancy lights and everything, but Coach Jackson had heart. He knew that it didn't matter where we practiced, what we had. When we got on that bus, we was the best team going into that stadium. And that, you can't put a price on that because materialistic things go up and down in value. You can't put a value on heart. That's going to be the good days and bad days. It's going to be the same thing.
Do you apply that same principle to your schoolwork? I keep saying all the time, Claflin's an academic institution. If coach can't recruit anybody who's not doing what they need to do in their classwork, they're not going to survive. Coach, I know what an academician you are, and I know how you stress academics. But for you to be able to win the CIAA Championship indoor track and field for men, You also received the highest academic award, the Dr. Freddie Vaughn Award. Coach, what did that mean to you?
That means a lot to me because from day one I stress academics. When I recruited everybody here, even Chan, I stressed it. I wouldn't even talk to Chan if he didn't have a 3.5 GPA coming out of high school. Also, he comes from good stock. His dad is actually a superintendent, so of a school district. So, like I say, I mean, it's very important that I recruit those highly academic individuals. It means a lot because, like I say, when I first took the job here, I was working on my master's degree in sports management, and I sat down with the team and I said, "There's no excuses." I put my transcript down. I showed them I had a 3.7 GPA. And I said, "Hey, I got a family, I got a wife. I show up to work every day. Y'all got no excuses. This is a highly academic institution, and I expect nothing less than the best academically." And it resonated with the team, and us getting that award, signified that they actually understand what I was talking about. And not only that, our women's program, got the outdoor high GPA award as well last year. So, like I say, it's not just the men's program, it's also the women's program as well. And like I say, something I stress, I think that relay that we put out there had a cum GPA of about a 3.8. So, I mean, that DMR team that scored 10 points, most of those guys was freshmen, and they got 3.9s and 4.0 GPAs. So, like I say, it means a lot. Flemister, who won the 200 meters, got a 3.9 GPA. Gore, who won the mile, he got like a 3.9 GPA. So, like I say, those are it's stress academics. And like I say, it's the most important thing to me once you come here, because I've been at schools where it wasn't a priority. It was just getting you out there to compete. But here at Claflin, the culture has to be academics first.
Good answer. Chan, try to mute yours. Mute yours because I hear echo. Again, I don't hear the squelch, but I hear echo when Coach talks.
Okay.
Well, Coach, you did mention something. You mentioned your women's team. How did your women's team do? I know all of the men won the championship, but your women's team seemed like they showed some improvement as well.
I mean, we was led by Zoe Adams, who was on your show previously. She was dominant in her event area. We did well in the relays. The DMR, the 4x4. We got a young team, and I knew it was going to be a developmental process with that group of young ladies. But we finished better than what I thought we was going to finish. They showed a lot of heart. We put some individuals in some areas that really benefited us. Like I say, it's a growing process. I told those ladies at the team meeting and at dinner that night, hey, we're going to step it up just like the guys did. People don't really understand that our men's team finished last year. The worst team in the conference last year. And, at the end of the day, I made them sit on the sideline and watch those guys who won last year with Virginia State and watch how they won that championship and received their hats and T-shirts. They looked at me kind of side-eyed, but I want them to understand that, hey, this is the goal. And the same thing with the women. They sat on the edge of that thing and watched Fayetteville State, because I want them to see what it looked like. I want them to envision themselves on top of that stage. And I got to go recruit. I got to go get some athletes that can go and compete on that level. The women's a little different than the men. You got a couple of women-only programs. You got a few women-only programs, and, their resources is pretty much in that. So, it's me going to get some top athletes on the women's side to go compete against the Fayetteville States, the Winston-Salem States, the Virginia States, and stuff like that, so we can actually make a bigger impact. Like I say, that'll be the focus coming up next year. I want everybody to see, okay, this is where we at right now, but it's not always going to be like that. We just got to continue to grind and work our way up.
Well, I like your outlook on it and how you're nurturing and teaching. But I also noticed that you don't allow for things that you don't have to be an excuse in order for you to be successful. You just continue to work around it. And Chan said it. I mean, he said that's one of the things that he looks up to you about. Coach, I know that had to make you feel good,
Yeah, it makes me feel good because, like I say, there's no excuses for me. We're going to get the job done no matter if we have a track, if we don't have a track, or if we don't have this, we don't have the job got to get done no matter what. And my work ethic and everything that allows me to be who I am, and where I came from. We didn't have a lot that during that process either, but we were end up becoming champions. People don't really understand my whole story. I have a story beyond track and field that people really don't understand, but that drives me to be who I am. Now, like I say, it resonated with my team. That story that I tell them about myself and what I had to go through, and become who I am today. So, like I say, that's the focus, and that was embedded into those guys that, hey, we don't have to have a lot to be a lot, but we can actually make a stance and be who we are through hard work, dedication, and having that focus.
But don't think I didn't hear you when you talked about your story. That's a story for its own show. But we will come back to that because we'd like to hear that story. But coaches, explain to people now the transition Chan and both teams have to make from being indoor to outdoor. Transition that, because it goes. You're in track, as we talk with Chan. You're in track all year round.
Yeah. I'm a very analytical guy, so I break down a lot of stuff. I break down championships. I break down where we at, where we stand. I look at every different scenario possible for us to actually put ourselves in a position to win. That's first and foremost who I am. So when I take indoor and I move to outdoor, I have to look at every situation. We don't have the motis outdoor. We got the jab. We don't have the DMR. We got the 4x1. So like I say, it's putting those guys in place and having the confidence in my coaching ability and my assistant coach coaching ability to get these guys prepared. What people really don't know is I had 2.66 high jumpers, that got injured, that didn't, that wasn't able to compete in the high jump. Those are areas that we got to tackle outdoor season. We got one of the top javelin throwers come back, Matthew Rocks. So, he finished second last year, so that's the area that we can tackle. Like I say, it's other areas that we can actually, generate points in because what we have. I'm going to be consistent what I got with the guys on the track. They're going to do what they're going to do, because like I say, that's who we are. It's getting the other guys ready, to, there's a 400 hurdles, I got to get those guys ready in that event as well. We got 2 400 hurdles. Davion Riley was in the finals of 400 meters. As a 400 hurler, he's one of the top 400 hurlers. So like I say, and my whole job is to get those guys prepared for outdoor season. It's to be a smooth transition, but it's going to be a quick transition.
Well, Coach, talk a little bit for us so that we understand what is the transition. What do you do? How do you train differently for outdoor as opposed to indoor?
I mean, the 60 is longer, so it's no longer 60 meters; it's 100 meters. So now the transition, those 100-meter guys, and having to run longer races, and training their bodies to do a little longer. Which based on what we've been doing in the fall and what we did in the indoor season, it should be okay. The 400 hurdles is you got to go now. You got to go around the track hurdling. So that transition is a little different. We've been doing a lot of base training, a lot of speed endurance stuff. Now it's time to apply that into those outdoor events. Most of these guys are outdoor athletes anyway, because this is the first time they actually did indoor. I got a bunch of freshmen on my team. I brought in like 9 new guys. So with those 9 new guys, they never experienced indoor. So now outdoor is where our bread and butter should be. And like I said, I expect big things. The transition is just taking events that indoor had that outdoor doesn't have, the discus and stuff like that, and seeing what we can do in that aspect of it.
Well, tell me, how's it look, the prognosis look for your women's team as you head out there?
I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, we're going to have to tackle some areas that, I believe that, last year I put some females in some events that I thought they could help them, and it worked out last year. And it's going to be the same this year. It's moving some pieces around and see where they can help. We all know Zoe going to be consistently doing her thing in the 2 and the 4. Now moving, my other girls into event areas. Don't want to give them secrets, but they'll move some other females into an event area that I think that can benefit the program as well. I mean, it's going to be tough because the competition is always tough, but you've got to put in the work, no different than the guys got to put in the work.
Yeah, because Zoe is a horse.
Yeah, I mean, her leadership, you know, I mean, she works hard. You know, I mean, when people ask me, you know, how is she? You know, I mean, females tend to, you know, look at her, how hard she works, and like, hey, man, she works too hard, you know. But that it comes with success. I mean, you put in that type of work, you expect to be successful at the end of the day, and no matter what you do. You know, academically, 3.9 GPA, you know, always on time, never miss practice, you know, show up, you know, never make excuses. You know, that's just who she is. So I'm trying to get that to resonate. There's a scripture that, you know, I read to my team prior to championships about, you know, shining like a light, you know, being a light on the hill, you know, being that light that shines on everybody so everybody can shine with you. And you know, that's who Zoe is, and that's who I am, and that's what I want my team to do. No different than, you know, I expressed to them even in the team meeting after the championship. They say our light got to shine on the rest of the Claflin athletics as well. No different than the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team, the softball team, the baseball team, because we're first. And let our championship, you know, this semester shine a light on everybody else, and hopefully they do well. So the things that I do and resonate is the same thing with Zoe and the same thing with the men's program, just shining a light on everything that we do, and so everybody else can shine.
Okay. But what is that, Coach? I mean, what is that, Champ? What did you do that you think really helped you a lot?
I think the biggest thing that put Claflin over the edge this year was always believing in each other and teamwork. Because individually, we're all strong athletes, but you can't win a team title by yourself. We all had faith in each other. We all knew when everybody stood on that track, I'm not second guessing like, oh, I think he could do it. I think he's going to make it. I don't have to look twice. I can look when the gun goes off and look when the race is finished and know that my guy got it done. Just having the faith in each other and faith in our coaching, that's what got the job done. And that's what's going to take us to outdoor.
I got another question I need to ask you. What are you majoring in, young man?
I'm in middle education. I want to be a middle education teacher, preferably social studies, and I want to be a track coach too.
Coach, you training him now. You know he's getting ready to pick up things from you, the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, you know, as I talked to Chad, you know, about things, because he called me this, I think it might have been the summer, and said, "Hey, Coach, I want to be a track coach." You know, the most important thing, as I explained to young people who wants to be in this profession, is surround yourself with positive guys and develop mentors throughout life. I'm always be that resource for him, and you know, my job is to get him in a situation where he's going to be successful and be that guy. So I have a wide range of connections with people pretty much everywhere through my you know, being a coach. You know, not only just coaching friends, I got administrative friends. I got people who are vice presidents and things of that nature at other universities. So, you know, it also gives him an opportunity to network. Like I say, Chan comes from good stock. You know, like I say, he's literally from my hometown. So, and I know his dad is a great. His dad is a Claflin alum as well. You know, and he's also, like I said before, he's a superintendent of a school board. So, you know, he has a wide range of connection as well. So Chad is going to be okay. You know, as long as he continue to do what he need to do in that classroom, on the track and social. He does community service and does everything that he need to do on that aspect. He'll be okay.
Okay. Well, Coach, you know, you got the outdoor season coming up and all of that. And I know that you know, going to bask in the glory of what you just accomplished, but I also know that after last weekend, you started focusing on the outdoor season. And we will have you on again later in the year, but we want to congratulate you for what you've accomplished this year and the things that you've done and the history that you made and the legend that was created, that Chan did, that we wish you continued success, Coach and Chan.
Thank you.
I liked it on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter. INSiiGHTS.
Yeah.
2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
All right, y'all.